There are, however, some cinema cameras such as the Arri Alexa, the Panasonic VariCam, which have built-in INDs now. The Canon C700 has built-in INDs, and that's considered more for like cinema cameras. Yeah, one of the big advantages of shooting these is this one shoots a higher frame rate. I think I can do 96 frames in 5K. I can do 120 in 4K. Also, this is an 11-year-old camera, mind you, so these rates at the time were kind of unheard of for their day. And still, it shoots a RAW Kodak, and Red RAW is basically, Red Code is what it's called, is probably one of the most versatile Kodaks still to ever come out into the market. Which brings me to this one, which, it's a smaller camera, but this is probably has one of the best RAWs since this little guy came out. And that's why a lot of people, kind of use it a lot. It's used for a lot of high-end work, especially when you're calling visual effects versus certain cameras, just because it has high resolution and the Kodak is just really beefy. You'll see that they'll shoot Alexas for like all the face stuff on like Marvel, but then if you notice and you look up like Shot on What, they also have these cameras to kind of supplement when it becomes a higher VFX world, just because the resolution tends to give them more information and post for them to create the big worlds. And yeah, I mean, that's it. These are just basic intros to cameras. I mean, they're all tools at the end of the day. All these cameras are tools. You find the right one that works for you. Just because one's typically goes in one role and one goes in another doesn't mean that they're interchangeable. It all comes down to what you want to use, how hard you want to fight for, like if I wanted to use this on a documentary, I know that it's going to be heavy, it's going to be slower, but I know there are going to be some advantages to having such a high-end camera on set. This is going to be your overall champion, the C300, because that's just really what it's designed to do. This thing is great. I think it's my favorite little all-around camera personally. I'm sure you've heard, if you're into cameras at all, Blackmagic's just crushing it. They've got a higher end version, but for the price, this is one you can't beat. And this little guy is still one of my favorites. Every now and again, I shoot something on it, and I'm like, wow, that camera is still amazing. And yeah, cameras are always changing. They're always evolving. They're getting better. Your phones are getting better. So I don't, like everyone wants to put a big emphasis on cameras. Cameras aren't really important. What's important is how you light it, how you shoot it, and the subject and the story that you're trying to tell.